Colin Turner never imagined his life would end on a Friday evening, right in the place he once called home. From the outside, Colin and Bree's house looked no different from any other peaceful home in the neighborhood. A small front yard, children's toys scattered across the grass, and the warm glow of living room lights filtering through the curtains. But anyone who had ever spent time around the Turner family sensed something was wrong. Frequent arguments, Bree's cold, distant stares at her husband, and the heavy, stifling silence that hung over family dinners. That morning, September 8th, police had visited their house twice, both times following calls from Bree. She claimed that Colin had physically assaulted her during an argument. When officers arrived, they found Bree standing at the door, her eyes red, voice trembling. But there were no injuries, no bruises, no scratches, nothing to support her accusations. Colin, by contrast, remained calm. He didn't yell or act aggressively. He simply explained that they'd been having problems, that Bree had trouble controlling her anger. He never laid a hand on her. With no signs of violence and no grounds for arrest, the police left twice, leaving behind two people still simmering in unresolved rage. Colin wasn't perfect, but those who knew him described a devoted father, a man who cared deeply for his 3 young children and tried to keep the family stable. But that day, he reached his limit. After the second fight, he decided to take the kids to Georgia, his hometown, to get away from the toxic environment. The kids need a break. So do I, he told a friend on the phone. But Bree wouldn't allow it. To her, Colin taking the kids away felt like theft. Her anger boiled over, and this time, it wasn't just words. That evening, while Colin was gathering some things in the garage, Bree quietly locked the door behind him, trapping him inside. He couldn't get out. He couldn't get back into the house. Trapped in a dimly lit, stuffy space, Colin pulled out his phone and called 911. His voice on the call was frantic, but he tried to remain composed. "My wife locked me in the garage. I'm worried about the kids. I think she might hurt them," he said. The dispatcher did their best to calm him, assuring him that officers were on the way. But seconds later, the unthinkable happened. A gunshot rang out, then 3 more. Colin screamed one last time, and then fell silent. Right there, in the middle of his desperate plea for help, he was shot. 4 bullets, all from behind, tore into his back. In a single horrifying moment, a man reaching out to the law for protection was killed by his own wife. Police arrived quickly, but Colin showed no signs of life. He lay collapsed on the garage floor, his phone beside him, screen still glowing. His children were inside the house, frightened, confused. And Bree? She stood in the kitchen, the handgun still in her hand. "I was defending myself," she said. "He pushed me. I was scared," but her story quickly fell apart. There were no injuries on her body, no evidence of a fall or struggle. More damning still, the 911 recording told the real story. Investigators listened in stunned silence. Colin's voice was clear, sincere, desperate. The gunshots cut through the recording like a knife. No scuffle, no warning, just a man begging for help, then being silenced forever. Forensic evidence confirmed what the audio had revealed. Colin had been shot at close range, all bullets entering from behind. It was not self-defense. It was execution. As Bree faced renewed questioning, her story changed again and again. She said Colin looked like he was going to hit her, then that he had threatened her. But no one believed her anymore. The audio recording, Colin's final testimony, had spoken the truth. In court, the prosecution presented the facts with devastating clarity. The victim called the police. He had no weapon. He was locked inside, backed into a corner. And when he turned to the law for help, the defendant picked up a gun and ended his life. This was not self-defense. The jury deliberated for only a short time. Bree Turner was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison, without the possibility of parole. Colin's story is not just another criminal case. It's a grim reminder of how love can decay into control, how trust can rot into fear. It's a warning about toxic relationships, about cries for help that go unheard until it's too late. What makes this tragedy even more haunting is the recording. In his final moments, Colin left behind a living piece of evidence, not just to expose his killer, but as a message to the world. That some cries for help are being ignored, that some people live every day in fear, invisible to the rest of us. And even as justice is served, the greatest tragedy remains. 3 innocent children, left without a mother or a father, lost in the silence left behind.